Hello all and welcome to another review of mine. Today I'm gonna review this 8-hour Swedish ration, which is a menu number 11. Even though it says it's made by 24-hour meals, this is an actual 8-hour ration, which I haven't really seen before, so kind of interested about that. And this is also my first Swedish MRE, so quite curious to see what is inside of it. The bag itself is quite big, so there's quite a lot of empty space there. It's pretty light, and the main is chicken korma with potatoes. So without further ado, let's open the ration up and see what we get. It comes with a convenient tear notch, opens relatively easy, and it also has a Ziploc seal so you can open it and close it again. So let's see what we get. This is how the ration looks like opened. And first up we have a 35 gram whey protein wild strawberry flavored drink. This is also made by 24 hours and this needs only 2 deciliters of water, so it will be probably pretty thick. Then next up we have this Food Force peanuts covered in dark chocolate. So a pretty non-descriptive bag. Next up we have a second protein item, namely a protein bar with banana and chocolate flavors. 55 grams of that. And here's the calorie information. So interesting that you get 2 protein products. Then we have our 24 meals chicken korma with potatoes, 400 grams of that. And I believe this is a different brand than some of the other or older Swedish rations had, which was Bla Band. That's pretty substantial, 400 grams of the chicken korma with potatoes. Then we have a pretty flimsy wooden spoon, although not as flimsy as the one in the Norwegian ration. We get a pack of 2 chewing gums with spearmint flavor. We get a I Am Coffee brand instant coffee. And finally, we have a disinfection wipe. And that's all there is in this ration, so pretty sparse so far. You don't get any creamer or milk for your coffee. There's also no drink besides the whey protein and the instant coffee. And there's also no crackers or bread to eat with the main. So, like always, I'm gonna first heat up the main in the retort pouch in warm water. And while the main is reheating, let's make our drink. First, I'm gonna make the whey protein with wild strawberry. It's pretty dense in there, so pretty full. So I'm gonna open it at the tear notch here. And that's how that looks like, pretty nondescript white powder. It has a little bit of a vanilla smell, if anything. So let's put that in the glass. And that's quite a lot of powder. We really only need to add 200 milliliters of water, so it's gonna be quite thick, I think. And I measured the water, so I'm gonna add that there. And this is definitely something we need to give a good stir. Very thick. Now it definitely smells more like a strawberry milkshake. Quite pleasant. That mixed quite well. So I'm gonna put that to the side for now. And then let's open up our protein bar. It is covered with dark chocolate. And then we have our peanuts in dark chocolate. So more chocolate. And here they are. They look quite nice. A little bit bloomed, but that doesn't matter that much. And then the only thing we have is our coffee, which I will make a little bit later, as the main is still heating up. Let's try our chocolate covered peanuts first. Here's a close-up of them. Yeah, that's quite nice. It's a good quality dark chocolate. It doesn't taste cheap, a little bit bitter. Because of the bitterness, you don't really taste the peanuts themselves. And I think with the other components in this ration also being sweet, I probably would have preferred just regular salted or roasted peanuts rather than the chocolate covered ones. But they're definitely not bad and a pretty good component overall. And then we have our protein bar covered by chocolate with banana flavor. So that should be a really good combination. And that was actually quite good. The texture is nice and chewy. And there is definitely a good banana flavor in there, quite natural. You don't really taste the chocolate, but it basically tastes like banana ice cream or something like that. And it's also a protein bar, and it's not chalky. It has a good texture. I think there's a little bit of Rice Krispies in there to give it some texture. I don't know if that shows up on camera, but overall, that is a good item as well, which is quite nice because banana flavor is pretty easy to mess up. A lot of banana flavored items can be a little bit chemical tasting, and this tastes quite natural. So then we have our milkshake. It frothed up quite a bit. Actually, it's not a milkshake, it's a protein shake, but it definitely smells like a milkshake. So good hopes for this. And although it smells really good, the flavor of it is pretty so-so. It is a protein shake after all, and it basically just tastes like slightly strawberry flavored milk. It's not sweet at all, and it's not my favorite. The texture of it is okay, but flavor-wise, there's not a huge amount going on here. But of course, I guess for the intended purpose of the ration, to give extra protein in a lightweight form, it probably serves its purpose there. And then we have the main, which is heated up quite well. Can't really hold it, at least not at the bottom. And then let's try and open it. And that is how that looks like. It doesn't look very appetizing, at least not to me, but smells pretty good. It's quite a hearty chicken soup kind of smell to it. So let's put that out on the tray. And here is the chicken korma. Came very clean out of the bag. Yeah, and that looks creamy, very yellow. There's potatoes in there. They seem to have a good texture, and pieces of chicken. And for the rest, the ingredients list is quite short. It's mostly potatoes, cooked chicken, water, coconut milk, and then there are some flavorings in there. Ginger, lemon, garlic, onions. So overall, that looks quite okay now when it's plated. And let's take a bite of this. Here it is up close. You can't really see any of the individual components. It's all in the coconut korma sauce. It smells good. It smells mostly like chicken. So let's try. And yeah, that is quite good. The potato still has some texture to it, which is nice. And there's some medium-sized pieces of chicken there, which also has a good texture. And the flavor is pretty mild. It has a little bit of acidity from the lime, and it's mostly salty, but it's a pretty mellow flavor, so definitely not spicy at all. So even if you wouldn't like Indian food, I think this could be up to your liking. It's pretty creamy because of the coconut milk, but pretty enjoyable actually. And then finally for dessert, we still have our coffee, which needs to be made with 150 to maximum 200 milliliters of water. And we get 2 grams of this I Am Coffee instant coffee. Let's add this, and just regular freeze-dried coffee is not fine, pretty big crystals. So let's add our water to the coffee and give it a quick stir. Let's try the coffee. And that's okay, a little bit bitter. It's definitely not the best freeze-dried coffee I've ever had in the ration, but it does the job. Overall, this was quite a sparse ration. I know that normally the Swedish rations are 24 hours, and they also come with components from a different manufacturer, Blaband. So I don't know if this is a really new ration where they switch to an 8-hour one, or this is simply a one-off 8-hour ration for exercises or something, but it is pretty Spartan for an MRE. You don't have any of the niceties that you would have in other MREs, for instance, pepper, salt, sugar, or even a trash bag, although you could use the bag itself. So it's a pretty bare bones basic ration. You also don't get any sort of soda type of drink. You don't get a beverage base or something like that. I think all of the components are good. I think the main is actually really nice. I think it's not the best main I ever had in an MRE, but I will definitely finish that. And I think the chocolate covered peanuts and the protein bar are also good. I think the protein bar is actually quite good, but I don't really care for the protein drink. It's pretty flavorless, but it's probably a very pragmatic choice to include in the ration. This was it for this ration, and my next review is gonna be a Dutch 24-hour Arctic field ration, which is gonna be the biggest ration so far that I will have reviewed, which is a whopping 6,000 calories. So stay tuned for that. I hope to see you next time, and thank you all for watching.